Hey folks, it's Jake from Metalwani here, and we are here with Sami, the bass player for Ensiferum. Sami, man, how you going?
Hello there, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good, and we're here to talk about Ensiferum. They're finally heading back to Australia for the first time in, I guess, what seems like forever. So, how excited is the band to be coming back down to Australia?
Well, we are super excited, yeah. Like I said, we haven't, it's been years since last time we were there, and overall we haven't been in Australia that many times. And every time we play there, it's been a lot of fun, so the expectations for this tour are very high.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, you sort of touched on there, but it has been a fair while. I think it's been almost 6 years to the date by the time that you guys came down here for this tour.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, we would love you guys to come down here more often, but was this the next opportunity that you guys had to be able to head down here, or were there other offers previously that just never gelled with the band's schedule?
Uh, of course, we always ask our manager and booking agents to try to work something with every album. We would love to come there, even twice with every album cycle. But yeah, it's always about the clashing schedules. And to be totally honest, of course, flying from Finland, the totally other side of the planet, to Australia is also a financial thing. So, but when there's a will, there's a way, and that's why we're coming now.
Yeah, very nice. That's probably a really good answer as well. And we do understand that we are in a very remote corner of the world, so it is difficult for a lot of European bands to get down here, but we love it when they do get down here. So since the last Australian tour, you've released 2 albums. You've had One Man Army come out, and most recently you've had 2 Paths. So will the set list for these Australian shows highlight some of the songs off these albums, or are you looking at creating more of a best-of set list?
Well, we have the mentality in the band that on every show we want to have songs from every album, because we are proud of every album and every song that we ever wrote. But of course, we're still in the touring cycle of 2 Paths. So of course, there's going to be new songs, but we don't underline 2 Paths or One Man Army on the Australian leg. We're gonna have songs from every album, some new, some old, some rare stuff, and I'm sure the setlist will be very crowd-pleasing setlist, and I'm sure we're going to have a good party in Australia.
Yeah, nice. And I guess that's probably a good lead into my next question. So with you guys obviously taking an interest in trying to pick a song off each album, how does the band come up with their set lists?
Well, like I said, we try to have songs from every album, and especially like countries where we play more often, like Central Europe, like Germany, for example, where we play at least like 50 shows per year. We even check like the previous set list of certain cities where we played, because we know we have very hardcore fans who have seen us like a dozen times. So we also want to keep it interesting for them, but also for us, because we are, in a way, we are a very blessed band, because we don't have Paranoid or Final Countdown. We don't have this kind of hit song that we have to play, or some bands have multiple of these that we kind of have to play on every show. Ensiferum is very blessed in this way. We can do several headlining, hour-and-a-half sets without playing the same songs, and they still have kind of hit songs that people will enjoy. So, like we just did a North America tour, which included also 3 shows in Mexico and 70,000 tons of metal, this cruise. So on the cruise, every band plays 2 shows, and we were like, it was natural for us that we want to do 2 totally separate, totally different set lists. And for some bands, it might not work, because people are expecting certain songs over from them. So
yeah, fair
we
enough.
are very blessed.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's a very busy time in Australia for fans of folk metal this year, with yourselves coming down here. We've also got Korpiklani and Eluveti all heading to our shores over the coming months. So,
Yeah.
do you think now is a good time to be a folk metal fan?
Well, I guess so. I guess the hype kind of started. Well, from our perspective, Ensiferum started really touring outside Finland back in 2004. But I would say 2007, 2008, it really peaked globally. And of course, all the genres will suffer the same fate, like thrash metal, power metal, death metal, black metal, everything. Every genre has their peak moment. And of course, then the next big thing comes, and I always said the strongest will survive, and that's pretty much the thing. If you check like all the genres that I just mentioned, there are still bands that are doing it, but those are pretty much the pioneers, or the strongest survived when the big hype calmed down. And I think folk metal, even though it's still doing very well globally. But like 10 years ago, there was tons of new folk metal bands coming from every corner of the world. And I still have my hopes up that there will be like the second wave of folk metal, because all the bands you just mentioned, like us, Korpiklani, Eluveti, we're old bands. So what would be cool that there will be like a new band that takes something that we old geezers have done, and they bring something new twist into it. But I don't know what that twist might be, but I still have my hopes up, in the kids and the young bands.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. Like, keeping the hopes up that someone will be able to carry the torch when, as you said, the old geezers have sort of moved on. So I guess that's sort of another really good lead into my next question is have you been listening to any of the new and upcoming folk metal bands? Is there any bands that you've sort of got your eye on that you think might be able to carry that torch?
I'm very sad to say, but I'm actually quite lazy finding new bands. If somebody recommends me a band, I will check it out. But like when I'm home, as a touring musician, I'm a lot of time away from my friends, family, and close people, and so I do not actually go to see that many shows nowadays. When I'm home, it would be cool to go to see like unsigned bands, and like I have friends who work as a sound engineer in a small club, so that they get to see all the upcoming band, which is really cool. But on the other hand, they are not touring all the time like I am. So there's a pros and cons in every work, so to say. But sorry, I really cannot say any new upcoming band. I'm sure there are many, but time will tell. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, and that's a very diplomatic answer there. So, you mentioned earlier about the North American tour, but prior to that, you actually wrapped up an acoustic tour of Europe at the end of last year. So, if I've done my research correctly, I believe that the idea for the acoustic tour actually came from a time where the band had a tour where the airlines actually lost your luggage and you didn't want to cancel your show, so you pushed ahead with an acoustic show, and that was well received, so you decided to take that to a full tour. So did it seem like the fans enjoyed the acoustic tour shows, and what was the reaction to them?
Yes, the reaction was crazy good. I have to correct a little bit. We did a couple of years ago some acoustic shows in Finland, but those were like I think it was less than 10. But just to for 2 paths, we even shot like a bonus DVD. There's an acoustic show from Helsinki. But we never had done that outside Finland, because those are really, well, someone said really well, it's like having Ensiferum in your living room. It's totally different from the kind of the aggressive metal shows where you have band on stage headbanging and sucking the energy from the interaction of the crowd. So we took totally different approach with the acoustic thing. We decided, okay, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna twist and turn some songs upside down, and then we're gonna play songs that we've never been able to play live. And people loved it, and then we started talking about it, that we should do this abroad, but there was really no good spot in the schedule. And last summer, airline companies lost our gear a couple times, and we're like, we're not gonna fucking cancel a show. So we contacted the promoter when we landed and noticed that we don't have a gear, that, hey, can you get us a couple acoustic guitars and a bass, and we'll do something. And the reactions were so good, encouraging, that we forced our booking agency and management to book us a acoustic tour in Europe, and it was a very big success. And I really hope someday we can actually do like a acoustic world tour. But at the moment, we're very busy with like traditional metal shows. Yeah, after Australia, we have a tour in Russia coming, and then the summer festivals in Europe, and then we're already planning to go back to North America this year, and then we should work with the new songs for the next album. And on my personal schedule, I have also a new band called Metal de Facto, power metal / heavy metal. We're mixing the first album of that band, so when there's a gap, when there's no Ensiferum touring or writing new music, I'm going to be on the road with the new band. So, so busy.
Yeah, fair enough. So I guess you did mention like you wanting to take that acoustic show worldwide if you were ever given the opportunity. But given the success of those shows, I mean, I know Ensiferum has always had acoustic elements to their music, but do you think we ever might see the band go down the path of releasing an acoustic album?
Well, we have talked about that for over 10 years. Let's see. Personally, if I could choose, I would do maybe like acoustic EP or something, not maybe a whole album, or maybe do like 50-50, like half of the songs are metal, half of the if you would have a vinyl, you have like the traditional side and then you have acoustic side. But let's see, we don't compose, we don't calculate, so to say. We just write music that we love, and if it's an acoustic song, then it's an acoustic song. If it's not, then it's not. We don't force ever. We don't think that, okay, we need to do something like this or that.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So let's see if we come up with a bunch of acoustic songs. Maybe we'll make an EP or an album someday. But we're now working with the next album songs for the next album, and they are not acoustic.
Yeah.
I think we have almost like half of the songs. Well, not ready, but we're already in the stage of arranging them.
Yep.
But we still need half of the songs. And anyway, between all this touring, we try to find time to go to the rehearsal room and compose the remaining stuff, so that the circle of life can start again. Release a new album and start the touring around the world again. Yeah,
fair enough. So I've got two quick ones for you before we sort of sign off, Sami. So in June last year, the band put out a search for a new singer / keyboard player. Have you had any luck with that yet, or is the search still underway?
Yes, we had a lot of luck. It was really overwhelming, the amount of applications that we got all around the world. How talented people there are who are interested in our band. It was like really crazy. I never would have guessed that. And yes, I'm sorry to say we haven't announced anything yet, but I hope during this year we can make some kind of announcement concerning this topic. But at the moment, Ensiferum is 4-piece band, but let's see what the future brings and the next album.
Yep, fair enough. And as you touched on earlier, you've been working on material in the background. Do you think we might be able to hear some new Ensiferum before the end of 2019?
2019 might be too ambitious. Personally, I hope we could hit the studio within a year, and because the labels when you have the whole mixed and mastered album in your hands, the label still needs to like 3 or 4 months to promote it. So I would say it's coming out next year, because this year is we would need to be in the studio in a couple of months, and that's not realistic because we have so many touring plans.
Yeah,
and but yeah, next year.
Yeah, nice.
That's realistic.
Nice, very nice. Sami, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to catching you when you come down to Australia at the end of the month.
All right.